Hello, 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 hello. Am I coming through? Got a good crew already. Thanks for being here. Post-holiday, pre-holiday, however you look at it. So hopefully everybody got some nice things over their holiday or their break, however they celebrate it. And I pulled out something that I got a long time ago that I think of as my favorite item that I got for Christmas. One of them. Wanted to talk a little bit about general stuff and talk about the future, really. So how's everybody doing? Ninjatron, El Kevo, Daith. Am I saying that right? Daith. First time here on the live stream. How you doing, man? Bing Bong Toys, T-Formers 2002, Andrew. How's it going? Paper Prime 09. Hello, everybody. Looks like things are going well here. You have caught the Toy Armada live on this Friday night. I am a 30-year vet of the toy game, primarily with Hasbro and Kenner. And we usually sit around and talk about toys and the way things happen in the toy industry and why they happen in the toy industry versus just the toys themselves. There's plenty of input on that out there. I come from the inside talking about the concepts that you may not see. They're a little opaque behind the scenes. So we like to talk about that kind of stuff and just general toy, pop culture, whatever we get into. I usually pull up some odds and ends and talk about those, and from there we just have at it. So, with that, got a few cool things. Don't know if you guys... I don't know where mine is at the moment. In college, I worked with a gentleman named Rob Krause, and he created the character Shakon the Forever Man, which was a Sega Genesis game and Game Gear, I think. Very hard video game, kind of dark, Demon Slayer kind of dude. Anyway, Rob partnered with some people a while back and made some toys of his character. This is one of the alternate realities where he's fighting in some sort of war and fights with machine guns as well as swords and stuff. So that is cool. If you guys are familiar with that game. Hey Larry, how are you? And so he sent me that. So that's cool. Kind of a rare deco. I think this is in the Glyos system of action figures. But I thought I would show you guys some of the work that I did after I left Hasbro that you may not have been aware of because I don't always bring it out. But I did these, Rob writes these novellas, and so these are kind of like every couple of pages has an illustration. And I did the illustrations in several of them, so there's this rat bastard. So I did all the cover and everything. And, this like circle of the werewolf, kind of cool. So I get my Monster Jones, an old pulp magazine illustration style out. This Toad King I think is one of my better, has some of my better illustrations, original illustrations that I've ever done. I think I'll pull one of these out to show you guys. See, so it's like a prose book, but like he takes my art and sometimes he'll use it multiple times. I really like the one he used for the cover there. So, if any of you guys are interested in my monster art, hence the name Archer Monster at times, that I also offer that kind of stuff up on my website. So had a lot of fun illustrating those books. They come with like a print and what have you. So I go way back with Rob and Shay Khan. This rat bastard is pretty cool. It's like a prison planet kind of thing. The guy has to fight every kind of foe imaginable. Kind of fun. Yeah, so Shay Khan and I go way back. Way back. Oh, Larry, man. Hope you feel better soon. And it lets me, I often talk about drawing monsters and liking textures and things. So those books give me an opportunity to do that kind of work. And we kind of follow the old pulp illustration rules, which is it's usually done fairly fast, but without a lot of notes, as if the artist may not have read the book or the editor gave him bad notes. So they're kind of like he gives me a lot of freedom to create whatever I want that makes sense for me to draw and have fun with. And we have a good time with that. Let's see here. And then the originals are really big. This is the kind of work that's on the inside, my black and white stuff. So anyway, there's that cover. Me wishing one day to be Bernie Wrightson, I think. So yeah, got off on a Shay Khan rant, but yeah, so I appreciate that. That was kind of cool. I got some needed things, nothing crazy or fancy. I was thinking about getting an Oculus as my husband gift, but I decided not to. Haven't bit the bullet on the Oculus yet. Don't know if I really need it. There you go, Brendan. Gift cards for your toys. That's a good way to get it. What are the books about? Shay Khan is a guy who was a wizard that challenged death, and he got cursed to be immortal until all the demons across the cosmos are slayed. So this guy's lived forever trying to planet hop and destroyed all kinds of different evil entities. So each one is kind of its own kill the monster kind of story. Very pulpy, very, descriptive, that kind of stuff. Aaron, did you make the big red dragon sketch that is in the TF wiki? Or is that a Takara sketch? I did very loose sketches. So if it's a very detailed sketch, then that's a Takara image. Hey, Windcharger, how are ya? Oh, Kevo, really enjoyed your conversation with Bobby Valla. I had so many of those Batman animated series toys growing up. Yeah, thank you. I sat down with Valaverse, Bobby Valla. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He does like his own, it's called Action Force, his own 6-inch military styled articulated figures. Got a couple of them right over my, right there. They're very cool, very detailed, very thought through as toys. And he and I sat down and kind of talked toys. And, in some cases, we were talking about toys I designed when I was very young in my career, and toys that he actually played with. So kind of wild. But we talked all kinds of things about Batman and Kenner particularly. So if you're into me talking about Batman or the toy industry of the 90s, definitely go check that out on Bobby Vala, the Valaverse, Vala, and check that out. Very nice production on those videos. I try to hold it together here with, the basic materials, but he's got nice production. Nice production on those videos. No, I don't have any of the Diaclone stuff. I wish I did. I have like 2 little things that I bought from Orson a long time ago, and they're tiny. Very basic things. One's a pack of humans, So I do not have a lot of Diaclone. I like all of it, though. That is my style. You guys have heard me talk about. I like very Japanese type style robots, so those are, like a beyond amazing. So I thought I would pull out something that I might have pulled out a long time ago, but like I got this for Christmas one year, and I think about all the toys, like the G.I. Joe stuff that I got, the Star Wars stuff back in the day, that certainly helped my imagination in various ways, but it really wasn't those toys that inspired me as much as the ability to kind of be part of it. And so this is not the one I had as a child, but this is the exact same one I had, which was this light up drawing desk. So in the early, you couldn't just go buy a drafting table very easily, even in the early 80s, without spending a lot of money. Those were very custom. They're kind of everywhere now. So this little drawing table thing was key to me having a spot to draw and having my first light table, which was, pretty cool. It's so old. It only has a double plug. I don't know if the light bulb is in it, but I never actually wanted to turn it on. But this gave me the ability to feel like I was a real artist, right? I had my drawing space and I had a light table, which was huge, which still would be huge. And then this envelope is sealed, so I don't dare open it. But it came with pencils and clear tissue Marvel characters that you could put your paper over top of and shine through the light and then draw. So you could make your own comic panels kind of thing. So that was really cool. Doesn't give you the contents here. Set includes drawing desk with lamp, 12 design sheets, 20 sheets of drawing paper, and 3 colored pencils. And I'm going to guess those 3 colored pencils are red, blue, and green, given that it's Spider-Man and Hulk, but I could be wrong. And that is it. So I had these Marvel characters that I traced for years. You would think I'd be better at the Marvel Comics things for that, but I took this and started drawing space shuttles, and NASA space shuttle was a big deal when I was still a young kid, so I drew a lot of that. But this was the Christmas gift that really, I think, set me on a course of being a creative artist in life. I don't know whether I would have been a toy designer or a comic book or an animated guy or what, but and this thing is not very collectible, by the way. I think I bought this for $30. And I would have only bought it if it had the whole box and everything. So, oh, jeez, sorry, everybody. Hotshot fan, how are you? Yeah, Bobby talks about all kinds of stuff in the toy industry and has a stronger point of view, which I think you're going to see a little bit more out of me in the coming year. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about. I've kept everything kind of safe, somewhat corporate speak often, right? But, definitely look at what Bobby does, and that's an inspiration to, share my personal opinions more so than I sometimes do. But he talks about all kinds of stuff, and he has more frustration with the industry than I have. He's more of a toy fan, like you guys probably more are. Cares more about the plastic and how that all works, and so he has more anger or frustrations about how it goes down sometimes than I do. So definitely check that out. I don't know if I look slimmer in there. Might be a camera trick, might be the way they captured me. But I'll take it. I did get a haircut, so those of us playing at home, this is the first non-wild man archer you've seen in a while. Aaron, was Armada inspired a lot by G2? I always felt there was a lot of similarities between a lot of Armada cast and a ton of the G2 color schemes and designs. I don't think so. Although I'm not opposed to weirder colors, I think that's what you're seeing. I'm not making things true car colors. And G2 definitely has that vibe. That could be one of the things you're seeing. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't want to open up that envelope. It's kind of like, I know what's in there. I'm not going to play with it. So, just leave it as is. It's a good memory. So that's fine. Bobby Valla, the Valaverse. Check it out. He's another toy creator. He owns his own company. When he got let go from Hasbro, he started his own toy company. And he talks about his toys and then the toy industry from a toy making, like why did they do that? Why didn't they do that? Kind of thing. You drew a NASA space shuttle when you was a kid. I drew the big red dragon like 30 times when I was a kid. Yeah, I had a subscription to a NASA kids magazine called Odyssey for years. Not knowing you had to be good at math or the sciences, to be maybe part of something like that. So, but I was really into the space shuttle and drew that, a lot as a kid. It was one of my go-tos. I could draw E.T. and a space shuttle really, really well. And I don't know if you know this, but try to draw E.T. Not an easy design to execute. It's very unique. Very unique. So while we're here, I also have on the archermonster.com been doing these illustrations on the instruction sheets for a while now, and still got a nice little run of Armada and Energon here. Got the kicker here still. Movie Optimus. Still got Jetfire. And several others. But if you're interested in original art or a favorite character, hit me up on the Instagram. Or just go to my website and see what's currently available. There's a lot of... been doing a lot of different things lately. So check that out. Yeah, Bobby did a funny one where he went to Ollie's, and I have the same feeling he kind of does. It's like this is bad planning when you see what Ollie's has, and Ross and stuff, and it's great if we can get a good deal on something that you couldn't find or that maybe not in your area. Those things can be great, or you want to army build or something. But often what it looks like is someone just did not make a very good plan at all. Periods, full stop. And it just, all of it ends up at Ollie's. And it's like, why did they make this? Why did they think these characters were going to be popular? Why did they make as many of them as they did? Why are some of them guys in suits or just ladies in dresses, not superheroes, not something impressive? And you're just like, those Eternals figures. I worked at an independent toy store during the COVID times, and we did not sell one of those figures. You know, we had 3 shippers of them, and there they sat. That movie, you know, not every movie needs figures, at least not at the launch. And until, you know, some of these things prove out to be just sad that all that plastic is sitting there and was wasted, and nobody really wants, you know, Snake Eyes movie femme fatale kind of character. It's just gonna sit there forever. You can blame the entertainment, you can blame the battle plan around the toys, you can blame a lot of things. So I agree with him. When he went to Ollie's, he went off. It was pretty fun. So if you want another person that has been on the inside talking toys, you know, you could check out his spot. Wind Charger. Yeah, I can draw a mutant ET to this day. Yeah, and no offense to Jimmy Woo, Agent Jimmy Woo, right? But that's not why I get into collecting. At least me, you know, I want cool guys and cool poses at least, and then, you know, I don't need those kind of edge of the edge type characters. It just seems like a waste of plastic. Yep, Harvey Bullock, definitely a guy in suit. Never even considered. For that reason alone. Yep, no, he's a guy in a suit. Wears a fedora. Gone. And that's how it was with Batman back then in Kenner days. What else have I been getting up to? I've been doing some commissions. This is one that's on the board. I think I'm finally finished with the Cybertron there. I was really... can't maybe tell, but I worked a lot on the space part of this one this week. So this one is almost done. It just keeps going. So that one of the things I intend to do in 2025 is do a lot better job of promoting my bigger art pieces and my own creations. You know, I've shown these guys at different times. You know, I'm gonna make a bigger deal out of that stuff too. Let's see, I got Unicron because I can't have these things just sitting around my house forever. I gotta do something with them. Been working on this things for quite a while, since college. Almost done. I like that one too. Dylan, how do you know when you're done? That's a good question. I thought I was done on a couple of these at different points, but then, I mean, the real answer is, is it rendered enough? Are the barks pushed back and things that I want to pop, are they popping in front of the other thing? So I keep cutting back the shadows. That's one way I know I'm done on that one. On Cybertron, it's the same thing. It's kind of trying to get the render so it's light on the side, kind of core shadow in this zone, and then popping the silhouette a little bit with the nebula stuff. And then when every area is kind of at the same detail level, not the same detail, but the same detail level, you can kind of decide that it's finished, I guess. So there's a point too where you're just you could just tell, for me anyway, there's just nothing more to render in there. I've gone from thick paintbrush all the way to a 0.3 pen on that, and it's 20 by 20. So once I get to this, I'm pretty much done. That's how I look at it. How would you feel about a fan-made Transformers Armada, the movie, that takes aspects of the latter half of the Unicron trilogy? What kind of tone would you expect from said project? You know, I don't know, they need a fun adventure again. I have been, in my mind, kind of... I didn't watch RID 15, so I can't totally know what went wrong there from where we started, because I started that project sculpting the story a little bit, getting characters like the wolf guy and the moose guy and stuff in there. But I'm often surprised that they don't take a lighter approach and revel in the transformation and the different things that can be done. It could be more of a funner adventure show than just two sides warring exactly. But more humor. I could go for a little bit of that. Although, tough to say. I'm not sure anybody needs Armada the movie, which I totally understand, the latter half of the Unicron trilogy. That overall story could be something that's cool. Actually, we're in a place now, quite honestly, where the concept of Supercross, which was Cybertron's inspiration, beginning exploration, is more likely to make sense, because we have explained all these different universes over all these different years. You got the game universe, the Bay universe, the animated universe still lingers out there, G1. You could do some fun stuff. Yeah, I worked on the early development of it, like what could the next show be, and some of that stuff. I think we wanted to play up Bumblebee, where the idea, at one point it was a prison ship kind of thing. I don't know if that's how it ultimately worked out. I left, a few months in, so I was really setting the table, like, we haven't done this kind of thing, and we could look at this kind of thing. We need more of this, less of that. So I worked on it to a point, but once it was a show, I have no idea. I never saw it. So, not sure how it all ended up, but apparently you guys are not particular fans of it, so maybe it's all good that I didn't get too deep into it. Yeah, T-Formers 2002. I'll tell you, man, the instruction sheets are all over the place scale-wise. Some of them fit nicely into frames, and some of them don't seem to. So that's unfortunate. Ninja. I generally feel like the tone of Transformers should be epic and heroic, but still suitable for kids. But there's room for alternate interpretations every now and again. Yeah, there should be. I mean, there's these different things happening all over. It doesn't all have to be hardcore war kind of thing. but yet you have to have someone who wants to write that kind of series and be inspired to write those kind of, you know, kid with hair whipping as the mechanical cheetah, you know, runs across the plains and stuff. You know, that you're trying to set up a mood with that kind of stuff. I'm thinking of Zoids when I think of what I'm thinking of here for Transformers, but the one of the TV shows. So a little more going back to more anime references, I guess, but with the American sensibilities or Western sensibilities, maybe. I just get tired of episodes after episodes after episodes of laser fighting, right? Whether it's any G.I. Joe or the third Matrix movie, where it's just endless fight. You know, it's gotta... Okay, I think they're cool. Okay, they're epic characters. They can take a punch for 25 minutes. Okay, that's great. But, like, it's all about the story and what's moving and why. And when that doesn't happen, I get bored. RID has some of that, yeah. Within this project I'm developing, creating a satisfying conclusion. Yeah, plenty of potential there. I'm interested in watching Transformers Go. Is that a good idea? I like some of those designs. That's the Japanese series that kind of bracketed, I think, that same timing, or some of the same timing. So yeah, one of the things I'm going to do in 2025 here, and starting tomorrow, I think I'm going to be on Daniel's Slag podcast to talk about it. But we're gonna launch the Patreon, and I'm more active with a lot of stuff. I've been working on some stories and different things, and this year's the year to get all that on track and talk more about the creation of just creative things, and share my years of mentoring and development knowledge to kind of share that, not necessarily on any one given project, but a lot of different things. So that is some of the stuff that I hope to do more of this year. So we're going to get more than doing a lot more than just Transformers. So if you're into the creative whys and hows, and how characters get created and why, and the thinking that goes into them, more of that kind of stuff. I'm going to do more book review, character review, or artist creator review stuff as well. Kind of get into that side of it, because I like doing the art, and I like, you guys like hearing about that stuff. So look for that. Go's fun. Yeah, it was a kind of a pickup little thing, right? They needed more content. Well, I think Windcharger, you got an interesting take there. I think the problem is most modern Western kids don't watch TV. What they need to do is find some popular independent creators to make the shows for them. Two parts to that. Yeah, kids watch things they find and friends tell them about when they find it, and they'll watch it deep, They're not bouncing around. They just go right to, the thing they're interested in. So you don't necessarily catch fish just with a dragnet anymore. You have to really target people, and that's harder and harder to do, as you know. Some independent creators could be cool. Some different names, some different takes. But again, we the whole thing with BotBots, didn't quite line up and work out. So they clearly haven't made an effort to do more of that. but independent creators is kind of a unique way to think about it. I also think turning them more actively into game characters helps. Whether it's Fortnite or Mobile Legends or any number of other things. Being able to play the characters is really important to the modern sensibilities around characters. So them living in these different worlds is fine to me. I think that's an important part of it, even beyond their having their own games. But independent creators and then living in active, playable gaming environments, multiple gaming environments, will be critical too. And it's that little snapshot stories, the interstitial stories that seems to satisfy their need to know, and away they go. And they're in control of the character. All of us are, when we're playing those things. So there's a tighter bond, right? So I agree with you there. Mr. Beast Prime, yeah, don't put it past them. Don't put it past them. It's probably too expensive for Hasbro. Hasbro likes to get paid, not pay, so we'll see. We'll see. All right, 10:39. You found yourself at the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. I am Aaron Archer, toy designer from a long time at Hasbro Kenner. Now I am a consultant, freelance artist, and you can find me on various social medias, drawing mostly Transformers, but all kinds of pop culture stuff. All right, what else do we want to talk about tonight? Yeah, I never actually saw the BotBot show to know. Matter of fact, I barely saw the BotBots products. I've only seen them at shows. I never saw them in the wild. They never got to my Walmart, that's for sure. Or maybe they were an exclusive somewhere, but I never saw them. And that's what the type of thing that I liked about BotBots is that it presents a whole new point of view, not connected again to Cybertron and war, and it just takes advantage of magical transformation of everything around you. I don't know how that got messed up, other than someone just didn't want to get too far away from that Michael Bay world for fear that you're going to screw it up. So that's the only thing I can think of. I have not been reading the Skybound books. I read the first issues. I forgot to pick up a trade paperback when I was at TFCon. I was talking to somebody about it, and I said, I'll come back and get that, and never did. I'm interested in reading it, but I have not yet. Yeah, BotBots was a weird one. Definitely a cautionary tale on a lot of fronts, because it's one of those examples of you're always trying to do new and cool things, but you also have to strike when the iron's hot. And here they had new and cool things, but they kind of had that show delayed. They didn't really play up BotBots as a similar positive line like the G1 stuff, whether it was whatever era they were in, but at that point with that kind of stuff, G2 probably, anyway, and they just never lined it up. So they had a great idea, solved the need, new types of Transformers, small, can be anything. We don't have to rely on all cars and trucks and animals. We could do anything, literally anything. So to me, they solved a need that we tried to look at a lot of different ways over the years. And then they just kind of fumbled the execution for whatever reasons. Maybe the Netflix deal took a while. Maybe the animation studio changed. Maybe the product didn't resonate with buyers, when they had the new Bumblebee movie coming out or the new this coming out. When I say buyers, I mean retail buyers, not retail consumers. But it's an interesting one, that's for sure. Okay, Ninjatron, you should what should an artist focus on to grow their brand in 2025? Yeah, well, you and I can do it together. So what you guys don't see in the behind the scenes is, trying to get consulting work is tougher and tougher. There's a lot of ex Hasbro people and whatnot, talented people, hardworking people out of work. So when I struggle to get enough of that kind of work, which has been happening, I just double down on myself and am confident that the relationships I've made with various communities and created what I've created in the past, I can, and my general skills to create new stuff. I just take the approach of how can I expose more people to that, in the hopes that more people will jump on my adventure. So that's one way I look at it. I try to take lemonade, lemons, and turn it into lemonade approach. So I'm gonna do all the little things. You're gonna see the merch store. You're gonna see the Patreon. You're gonna see more videos, probably more long form as well as more lives, where I focus on different aspects, whether it's drawing and or artist stuff, so that you guys can get a better glimpse of what I'm about. So you'll trust when I say different things. You might go check those out and benefit those artists as well. So gonna make some stickers. I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out how to squeeze it all, Ninja. Probably gonna have to start a Twitch, right? We'll see if they ban TikTok in America. See how that goes. Yeah, I mean, they made so many BotBots that El Kevo, that you would think they could redeco those things till the end of time, cater them to like the start of the football season, sports pack and different things, but they haven't really done that either. So it's interesting. Maybe they didn't cost out well. Maybe they were just too expensive to produce. I don't know. Do you think Paramount will make more movies without Hasbro investing? Do you mean Transformer movies? Yes. Those other movies? Probably not. I don't know how much Hasbro was investing in any of those movies, but you're not going to see any more Gems or Candylands or Stretch Armstrong, Clue pushes, because that's where they would have to incentivize a little bit more. But Transformers and G.I. Joe, I think, are on a different trajectory. I don't think Hasbro investing in them matters, because they reap so much. And again, Hasbro didn't invest in the way that you might think. I think it means that Hasbro, when they say we're not investing, I think it's partially money, but I think it's also like we're not even trying to get that stuff done. Like, we have other things we're trying to get done. Maybe the Magic movie, maybe a Dritz movie, but you don't need Hasbro's investment for someone to come in and want to license that from Hasbro. Okay, well, I appreciate that. And yeah, and to do that, I'm going to talk more about Batman. I'm going to talk more about the other toy stuff that I'm part of. I'm definitely going to do a designer spotlight where I get guys in here and kind of ask them the same set of questions every time, and You'll learn a little bit more about the creative mind that created, G.I. Joe, or worked on Beyblade, or worked on Zevos, or, any of that kind of stuff. So I appreciate that. Anybody that appreciates my kind of point of view on this stuff and, has had a good time with that, you can continue in a different way. And so that'll be launching. I'll be part of the Slag podcast tomorrow, and we'll hopefully be certainly talking about it wholeheartedly, if not actually launching it tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, BotBots, man. It's an interesting one. What if the product is advertised as just merch? Yeah, I don't know how. It's divided differently by government rules. I don't know if that works that way. Why do you think there were no purple T-Rex in the Rise of Beast movie or full Beast Wars movie? Is it fear by the part of Hasbro? No, I'm thinking that the movie people thought a purple dino was not cool. I'm guessing that. Not realistic, or too, is it Barney? Just I can see where they weren't going to go for that. Little too toyetic there. If they did a magic movie, it wouldn't be like the old Inquest. I don't know. I sat through some people that were in control of magic at one point and trying to explain to them how we had succeeded in Hollywood, getting people to license our brand and then partner with us to present that throughout Hollywood, and what we were willing to not focus on and what we were willing to really, had to be a big part of it. Autobots versus Decepticons, and Autobots and Cybertron had to be there, but we were not as worried about it matchy with the old cartoon, right? We had a meeting with the magic people where they were like, wow, we would love to have a movie too, and what did you guys do, and all that. And we started talking to them. Well, you don't want to have this and the stuff that's toy focused. You don't need that, And the guy started talking about, well, we'd have to have all the 6 colors, and maybe a big dial in the sky, so every scene you would know. And it was like he was trying to visualize the game as a movie, and there was no, and it was just they had so many have-to-haves by their point of view that it was like I left there, and some of my other colleagues on Transformers, we just were like, that's not going to go very far. The first time a director has a meeting with them, they'll never invite those people back to another meeting. And it never happened. So you can't be too precious either. But I don't know the Inquest game. I want to know everything about the weirdest Batman figures. Yeah, the dial in the sky was the... What are the different colors? Something in Magic, there's a bunch of different colors that represent different lands or something, and they wanted it represented so that the player would know where they are in the universe. And it was just like, that is so not important to a story. So what's the story? What's your main characters? Well, we don't have main characters. We have symbolic leaders of certain aspects of areas, but they're not, And it was like, well, what's the story? Who's telling the story? Why are they listening? Well, it's all this great stuff and got 1,000 different card design, And it was just like, you can't just throw all your great stuff into a barrel, shake it up, and get even greater stuff out. You actually have to do something with it. And the problem with a lot of video games, translating the entertainment as well as a card game, I would imagine, is, you need, You need story. You need main characters. You need antagonist, protagonist. So very weird that they had that point of view, and kind of like, okay, I don't know how to help you guys at the moment. So just I share that story. Yeah, I think there was also little symbols associated with them, tree and this and that. And again, I'm not a Magic player, and over the years, the more time I spent with the Wizards of the Coast people, I was convinced that's I'm not a game person. I worked on Kaijudo to set that line up to be an animated cartoon based off the card game, and had some good times with that team. But the Magic proper team was very very math oriented, not character oriented at the time. Who was in the meeting? Yeah, they had a big lion guy, and they had a dude in green. They had different people that represented certain zones, but again, they weren't Megatron, or they were just a important leader of an area. So they hadn't really thought about how it would be as a narrative story. So I don't recall who was in the meeting. And they weren't really pitching us. They were just trying to understand the variables they would need to lay out to maybe get a producer to look into it. And so that's what we were saying. Well, you got to make it something the stats are great, how much money's been made, how long it's been around, how many cards have been printed, and different things. Like, you can go from here to the moon 88 times on the cards alone. Okay, that's all good, but now I want to make a movie. What's it about? Who's my main character? What are they after? All that stuff. I don't know if Chris Cox was there at the time. This is going back to 2007, probably early 2008. So I don't know who was there at the time. But yeah, yep. We got the cat here. Jiro has made an appearance. But I don't think Cox would have been there. Do you think it is harder to adapt a toy line or a game into a movie? Well, most toy lines that have been adapted into movies have had a storyline attached to them, whether they had a cartoon or a comic book or both. Back of card content, different things like that. Games kind of take place in a different play environment where the story is being kind of told as you play the game, and you're part of it, and you're leading the narrative versus hearing that Batman said this to that character and that character did this and then this. You're kind of in the mix. So game properties, I feel, have a tougher hill to climb because of that narrative issue, but they've been getting a lot better of adding the narrative, obviously, like The Last of Us and stuff being a whole aspect of it, and it just keeps getting better. But for a long time, what's the story of League of Legends? There is content there is stories, but it's not like page one. It's kind of just all stuff that you land in a universe and you just learn about all the different races and characters and armors and stuff. And so that's what I mean. So taking a game, if they said, hey, let's make League of Legends the movie, you can do a lot of cool Easter eggs, you could do all kinds of stuff, but at the end of the day, that's only going to be kind of material for diehard fans. How do you get the normal people to care? Like, okay, what am I going to see? And I think sometimes the game aspects would be a tougher one, the ones that have a narrative story, G.I. Joe, Transformers, any of those, Power Rangers, you could, if one wants to do it, make a good narrative out of that content and tweak it to make it modern. Yeah, that's exactly, that is exactly, you hit the nail on the head. They were forcing the game mechanics into the content of the movie. That is exactly what one guy just could not get past. He was like the biggest like game guy, and it was like couldn't understand how you would make a movie out of this popular game without basically just playing the game as the movie, and it was like, that is not going to work. So that guy was definitely forcing the game mechanics into the content aspects of the film in a way that isn't just Easter eggy or central, but like not focused on. He wanted it to be overt, and again, that Magic movie was great. So yeah, Jiro has landed. All right. Now you can hear him purring, I bet. All right. Getting close to 11. What else you guys? Anybody got some New Year's plans? I'm going to the in-laws and probably going to eat well. I'm going to continue to draw the illustration art. I'm going to continue with these paintings while I build these other platforms. So stay tuned on that stuff. I appreciate the commitment from some of you all. And it all helps. Again, I am an independent artist, and it is not always as easy as you think it is out here. Things are going okay, but not as well as I'd like. So I'm going to try to figure out how to expand this aspect of my life that I enjoy and that I think I'm good at, and that I have context in. So that's what I hope to do, be a little more thorough about it, instead of this being a kind of side hustle. So look for that. My plans for dinner on New Year's, my mother-in-law will be making baked stuffed shrimp, and probably have a couple of nice desserts, chocolate cakes. Baked stuffed shrimp for sure. Maybe London broil might be on the docket. But I know it'll be good. My mother-in-law is a fantastic cook and works really hard to present it all, so I know it'll be a good time. Trans fan 1988. Did you get a stomach bug? I will be watching some football. I suppose I'll be doing that tomorrow as well. And I'll be drawing and painting. That's kind of most of my gig these days. My commission list is dwindling down. I've been working through everything that I have owed people. I got a few more, but things are on the way. So if you, didn't spend all your Christmas money or need to buy yourself a gift, consider that and check out or hit me up if you have a particular character that you're interested in. Can always help you out. I have a large stash of the instruction art at this point. Going to be working on I couldn't do I did the poll last week, and we were talking about Shockwave. Or 2 weeks ago, I was going to do Shockwave, but my big blue marker is not opaque anymore. It's more transparent. I can't really do Shockwave if I don't have a good blue. So that didn't happen. So I did Wheeljack instead. So and then I got another RID Optimus to do as well for Alex Weiner from TFW 2005. I voted that to him for a while. Why Hasbro never release a book of the box arts? I still have all the Beast Wars cards collection. Yeah, for a long time, Hasbro wasn't necessarily set up to archive that stuff. So I know a lot of the Beast Wars art has been tough to find, and it's sporadic what's out there and what isn't, is my understanding. There's been a few books, the Legacy book and a few others, the Visual History, have a lot of that art in it. But that's definitely G1, G2 kind of centric, a lot of it. There hasn't been a good Unicron trilogy illustration, image package art book. It's out there sporadically. Just how it is, the era of all that stuff that I was working on coincided with the decline in Borders and Barnes & Noble bookstores, where there was an abundance of these art books and extra books and coffee table books, and that stuff was largely getting phased out in the early 2000s anyway in some ways. But then the 2008 recession hit, and all those places closed up, and the retailers had fewer places to sell these kinds of books, so they stopped making those kinds of books. Now people aren't reading as much, so those kinds of books are going to be harder and harder to find, it seems. That would be my feeling on that. Would love to see an RID Optimus doing a Raider kick using the super mode. Wow. Yeah, the box art could be very cool. Sometimes it's not shown in its full glory. It gets clipped and stuff. The art you see on a lot of the box art is actually, in some cases, more drawn than what you see. But it can be a lot of nice art, yeah. Yeah, Richard had a lot of nice stuff in Baltimore. An old Hasbro package artist. He had a lot of cool stuff. All right, so with that, I think I'm going to call it tonight. Hope you all had a good holiday. I hope you have a good New Year's. I'll catch up with you tomorrow on Proto-Man's Slag podcast, where we're going to be talking about just year-end stuff and some of these future plans for the Toy Armada and the Patreon. So check that out tomorrow, and then I might do another podcast on Monday. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see you on the flip side. Again, I am almost 95% sure I will be in LA for TFCon LA, so I'm looking forward to that. So any of you on the West Coast that I haven't met and you plan to go to that one, I will be there. So I appreciate everybody, Ninjatron, T-Formers, Larry, Windcharger, El Kevo, all of you, Daith, appreciate you. And you all have a good night and a good new year if I don't hear from you. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you.